I was doing a catch up with a very successful friend of myself, and he calls one person a month and just asks them very deep questions. And we started talking about New Year's resolutions. And what he realized is what we realized together as we were talking was I obsess with the process, right? I believe that if myself and those I surround myself do all the right things, the right results will follow over an extended period of time. And so every year, I feel I'm usually pretty satisfied because I can control the processes, right? And so I say, I'm going to do these three things and I expect these results to happen. Conversely, he said his goals are always, I'm going to sell my company. I'm going to do this. He always focuses on the end results. But, we can't control those things, right? So he said he tends to get depressed a lot because he's focused on the end results, where I'm actually always focused on the means to the end. So I feel accomplished because I know I did what I need to do. I control the kind of controllables, right? And so I think that's also another thing, the analogy I use is I always laugh when I'm in Vegas and I'm at the blackjack table and I'm showing, maybe a 11 and the dealer showing 16. And so I double down and the dealer hits a 3, gets 19 and I end up at 16. And people will say, gosh, I shouldn't have done that. The answer is you should have done that, right? Because you absolutely should have done that because 99 out of 100 times the odds don't lie, right? So over a long period of time, that's how it's going to be. I feel the same way about if you drive the right processes, if you do the right work, most of the time the results follow, whether that's getting into a retailer or selling a business or having a good relationship with a business partner or a wife or a girlfriend or something like that. And so I really try to focus on the process, knowing that's what I can control, and the chips will fall where they will. In that particular hand of blackjack, I didn't win, but 99 out of 100 times, if I do the right things and I follow the odds, the right results are going to follow.
Phenomenal use of that analogy, because people really tend to second guess things. And in that second guessing, what you're doing is you're saying, hey, it didn't turn out the way I wanted to, but I still did the right thing. And there's value in that. One of the things, Carter, for this audience, and I put myself in that audience for sure, you've been very successful at raising money. Now, I want to take it way back to me and Tristan. Okay. Now let's just say Tristan and I, or any member of our audience, we've got some good ideas, a good project, maybe a good path. We want to raise money. How do we do it?
I think there's a few things that I would focus on, but having said that, clearly no magic bullets. The first is, I think one has to clearly articulate what they're trying to accomplish. In doing so, they have to realize when you're raising capital, you're trying to win hearts and minds. Too many people focus on either hearts or they focus on minds and they forget that you're trying to win both, right? And so when a company's raising kind of initial capital, it's usually not whether the final number on some model is a 2 or a 3 or a 4. You need to make them emotionally feel vested, and excited, right? So I think the first thing is clearly articulating what you want to accomplish or what the idea is, making sure that you are inspiring hearts as equally as minds. The second thing is we live in an ultra competitive world, right? There's been a complete democratization of the ability for people to start businesses. That's the good news. The bad news is, as a result of that, doesn't matter what your business is, you have a lot of competition, right? If you're a chef, you're competing with other restaurants, you're competing with food delivery platforms. If you're a real estate agent, you're probably competing with other real estate agents, but also maybe technology platforms that allow people to sell or buy homes easier, et cetera, et cetera. And so one of the things I always ask people is, there's a stat from Moneyball, the famous book around and it's a basketball stat and it's called WAR, wins above replacement. So LeBron James has the most wins that he accounts for above his replacement. And when we're investing in a company, we ask ourselves, why does this entrepreneur have a high wins above their replacement, right? So if your replacement's really good as well, right, you don't account for more incremental wins, right?